Welcome to Around Kitsap. We are in the studio today, and my special guest is Deborah Horn. She's the Executive Director of Meals on Wheels. And also joining Deborah and I is Chris Wright. Chris has a familiar face. He's been around Bremerton and he does a lot of different things. He is a volunteer with Meals on Wheels. That's his role today. Thanks for coming and joining us today. Welcome to our BCAT studio.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So our topic today is Meals on Wheels. Deborah Horn has been with Meals on Wheels for how long?
Since 2010.
Since 2010, but Deborah has 25 years experience in nonprofit agencies. Before Meals on Wheels, where were you, my dear?
Here in Kitsap, I worked at Hospice of Kitsap County for 7 years, and then I worked at Peninsula Community Health Services for 10.
Mm-hmm. So nonprofit work is kind of in your blood. It's kind of your DNA.
It is.
Uh-huh. But when Deborah talks about Meals on Wheels, she lights up. It is her passion, and she's got great programs that she's going to share with us, and even more fabulous volunteers and community partnerships. So Deborah, let's start about history. Tell us about the history of Meals on Wheels, which used to be called Chuck Wagon.
We did indeed, yes. We actually was founded in 1973 as Chuck Wagon Dinners. And we were a small project of the American Red Cross and actually functioned under the umbrella of the American Red Cross for 2 years until they could no longer sustain the program. And we ended up being adopted, if you will, by the Bremerton Housing Authority, where the kitchen up at the old West Park is where the meals used to be prepared. And so Bremerton Housing Authority became the parent organization of what was then known as the Chuck Wagon Senior Nutrition Program. Fast forward to about 1982, and Bremerton Housing was no longer able to sustain our senior nutrition program, and we went out and became our own separate 501c3 organization known as Bremerton Services Association. We functioned here in Kitsap County as Chuck Wagon Senior Nutrition Program until 2013, which was the 40th anniversary of our program, and we rebranded as Meals on Wheels Kitsap for a number of different reasons, but primarily because people understand immediately when you say Meals on Wheels. And the growth of our program over the last several years has been in the home delivered meal portion as opposed to the community dining or congregate setting.
So those are the two ways to serve meals to seniors. They're either delivered directly to their home, or seniors go to a congregate site, our Bremerton Senior Center. There's apartment complexes, recreation centers, where there are congregate meals. Are those the two ways that we serve with food?
Those are the primary ways. So we operate 8 community dining sites throughout Kitsap County. In the southern end of the county, we have a meal site at the Burley Community Center, one at the Conifer Ridge Apartment Complex in Port Orchard. In Bremerton, we partner with the Bremerton Senior Center and operate a meal site at Nipsic Senior Center. We also have a daily meal site with the Pinewood Manor Senior Apartments here in East Bremerton. We have a meal site that we partner with the Silverdale United Methodist Church in Silverdale. Also operate meal sites at the Kingston Community Center, the Bainbird Senior Center, and the North Kitsap Senior Center.
How old, what is the age range for a senior to qualify for a meal, and income level? How is all that sorted out?
So to qualify for service in our organization, you have to be 60 years of age or older. To come to a community dining site, age is the only requirement, and that you call our office one working day ahead of time to make a reservation, because we don't actually prepare meals at the site. But that's the only qualification for the community dining site. To receive home delivered meals, you have to be 60 years of age and you have to be medically homebound. So most of our clients live alone. They either, because of a medical or physical reason, are not able to safely prepare a nutritious meal, and so they would qualify in that regards. Most of our clients do not drive, and so having the meal delivered to their homes is very helpful. We also operate a couple of other programs. We have dietary counseling and nutrition education services for all of our clients. We operate the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, and this is a seasonal program where seniors 60 and over in Kitsap County who are low income can qualify for $40 worth of vouchers that they can actually shop at the local farmers markets and get fresh produce. And then we raise money in the community to provide that same service to our homebound clients by purchasing produce from local markets, and then volunteers deliver them.
Wow. Deborah.
It's a great place to be honest.
It's really awesome. There's just so many things that are offered through your agency. It's fabulous. So Chris, how long have you been volunteering with Meals on Wheels?
I've been volunteering for about 15 years now.
What brought you there? How did you hear about them? How did you get started?
I worked for Mason County Fire Department back in 2001, and the secretary was reading the paper one day and said, "Hey, they're looking for drivers for Meals on Wheels." So that might be an interesting little job to do. And I said, "Yeah, it's a good idea. Maybe I'll try that." So I went and came over, and I met this guy Dave, who was one of the drivers, and he showed me around, and I just fell in love with it. So I've been doing it ever
15
since then.
years of volunteering.
Yeah.
And do you volunteer once a week, twice a
Yeah,
week?
it's about usually once a week. Yeah, I do it now. So yeah.
Chris has got a few other jobs. He is a firefighter paramedic.
Correct.
With our City of Bremerton Fire Department. Him and his wife have a business that they run. And also Chris is a fabulous cook. He's our chef extraordinaire when we have our city employee picnic. Chris, what is it about volunteering with Meals on Wheels that gives you what you're wanting, or is it you giving others? What is it?
Well, first of all, let me say I'm truly blessed to have, a great job right now. My family's healthy, everything's good in life, so I always feel that you should pass on the blessings. So just knocking on someone's door, and they come to the door and they smile at you, and they just appreciate it so much that you bring that meal to them, and it's just what a good feeling inside, So, and like Deborah was saying, a lot of them are by themselves.
Yes.
So sometimes
Yes.
we're the only face they'll see for that day.
Exactly.
And just to sit and chat with them, I've talked to, some of the people I deliver meals to, sometimes 20, 30 minutes, Sometimes I'll come back and talk with them because they're such a joy.
You.
So.
And that's just it. Sometimes this is the only social contact they get during the day is somebody bringing them their meal. So welfare check, you can check on these folks, make sure everything's going okay. If they need a little bit of assistance, you can at least alert the office or tell somebody else, this person needs a little bit of follow-up. Fabulous, fabulous. So what route do you usually do? Are you all over the county?
I'm kind of the fill-in, yeah.
Yeah,
so if someone's not who's sick or on vacation or something else, so it's good because I kind of know the city.
Yeah, you do.
yeah. So I enjoy that, yes.
Let's talk about staff. You do have a few paid staff, but a tremendous amount of volunteers. Let's talk about that.
Certainly. We're really blessed, like I think most nonprofits are, to have really dedicated staff members. We have a small staff of 10. 7 are part-time and 3 are full-time employees. But we really couldn't do what we do for as long as we have without the wonderful help from our volunteers. And we currently have over 100 volunteers that permeate all parts of our organization, from serving meals at the meal sites to delivering meals like what Chris does, to working in the office, to working on special projects, to kind of helping us with our fundraising and community outreach. You know, many times we do information and health fairs, and folks sitting at those tables representing us are volunteers as well. And we also are governed by volunteers, men and women in the community who have a passion for Meals on Wheels and are willing to help us lead our organization in many arenas.
How many are on the board currently?
We have 7 board members currently.
And some of these board members won't leave. They want to stay on the board. Are there term limits?
We do have term limits. We do have term
You have to go
limits.
off, but then you can come back on.
Yeah, and there are other ways that they can help.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly right.
so.
Exactly right. So we have locations all over Kitsap County, from the south end to Bainbridge Island, and there's always a need for more volunteers, correct, Deborah?
Yes, there always
If you
is.
would like to drive for Meals on Wheels, help in the office, we're going to have the website on the screen. Contact Deborah, go to the Meals on Wheels website. Deborah, there's lots of community partnerships involved to help Meals on Wheels be successful. And number one of those is the kitchen, where the actual meals are prepared. Tell us a little bit about that, and then of course other community partners.
I would indeed like to, I want to back up just a little bit and talk a little bit about our meals before we talk about how they're prepared. You know, one of the things that sets us apart is that all of our meals are healthy and they're nutritious and well balanced. They actually meet 1/3 of the recommended dietary allowance required for a senior citizen. And when you think that for many of our clients, that might be the only healthy meal that they get, it's really important that they get all the nutrients that are required. So all of our meals are designed by a registered dietitian. She puts the meal plans together. It's her recipes that we actually use in the kitchen. And one of our longtime partners in the community is the kitchen at Kitsap Community Resources, who has actually been providing and preparing our meals for 42 of our 43 years in existence.
Wow.
It's a really long time partnership, and they do a really great job preparing and packing those meals for our staff and volunteers to pick up.
That's really great. So there's an event coming up.
Several events.
Deborah always has fun events. I've participated in a bunco night that was absolutely a hoot. And the women and guys that I got to meet at that event, I had a really great time.
Yeah.
But a great fun little evening and a way to raise some funds that helps Meals on Wheels. But Whale of a Run is a huge event in Kitsap and has tremendous history. And recently Meals on Wheels is joining that event.
So this year will be the 36th annual Whale of a Run, and as many people in Kitsap know, that event has been sponsored primarily by Hospice of Kitsap County and
that's right.
benefited Hospice of Kitsap County. They are now part of the multi-care system, and so the Whaling Days Committee was looking for a new nonprofit to sponsor the run and benefit from it. And Meals on Wheels said that they would love to be that beneficiary. And so we became the sponsors of the run this year. As you know, it's a great event. 4 mile, 1 mile, kids dashes, occurs on Saturday this year, July 30th, but is part of the 3-day Whaling Days activities that happen in Silverdale. And it's just going to be a really fun, great event for elite runners, serious runners, fun family event. So please kind of watch and come on out and consider supporting it, either by participating or being one of the cheerleaders along the route.
Volunteering to help.
We are looking for lots and lots of volunteers. So, you know, people can check our website and our Facebook page. We have information about that, and that will be refreshed constantly.
Great. Some other very cool events that Meals on Wheels sponsors is the Silver Plate Awards.
It is.
Very, very cool. And that is actually recognizing your volunteers?
It actually recognizes seniors in the community. And so this was an event that we started 3 years ago. May is Older Americans Month, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us to, as a senior serving organization, to recognize all those unsung heroes in the community. You know, seniors who are working in the school districts, people who are working in business and are really making a difference in what they might consider small ways, but they're huge. And so the Silver Plate Awards Breakfast was designed for that. And we currently are accepting nominations for seniors. So if you know of anyone that is 60 and over and is making a difference in any capacity, either in your job or in your community, at your church, whatever, please consider nominating. The forms are available on our website, and we'll be acknowledging them on May 25th at the Senior Breakfast.
That's really great. Other than raising your own funds, Deborah, where does the majority of the funding come from for the Meals on Wheels program?
So our organization is one of about 450 senior nutrition programs across America that actually are funded by the government through the Older Americans Act. So these are federal funds that are designated for senior programs, including senior nutrition programs like ours. They also fund senior transportation, senior housing programs, and the like. And so a large part of our budget actually comes through the Older American Act. It's a pass-through from the federal government to the state of Washington and into the various communities and counties, and Kitsap County Aging and Long-Term Care actually contracts with us to provide the senior nutrition services. Other funding comes from other government or private foundation grants. We have several community foundations, the Bainbridge One Call for All, other workplace giving campaigns like United Way and the Combined Federal Campaign that provides funding for us. Our special events, obviously, like the Silver Plate and the Whale of a Run, and then just individual contributions. And, you know, we're always, a dollar is a dollar, and it really helps to provide the meals for our seniors. The other thing is that we're a donation-based program, so we don't ever bill any of our clients. They actually can come and have a meal if they qualify on that age 60 and over and make the reservation or are medically homebound to get home delivered meals. But we suggest that they make a contribution, and the suggested donation is $3 a meal. It really costs more than $3 a meal, but through the combination of individual contributions and grants and so forth, we're able to sustain that as well.
You're a very hard worker, Deborah. She's not only dedicated to Meals on Wheels, she's got a good staff, she's got fabulous volunteers, but it comes from the top. It comes from the top, the hard work and the love of the resource, because it is a resource, Meals on Wheels. It's evident that you just love your work and you're happy and you attract happy people, although he was here before
He was here before.
But she made it better.
She made it better.
Much better.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Deborah, where is the office? If folks want to go and actually walk into the office, have a conversation about your services, where would they go?
So we're located at 2817 Wheaton Way in East Bremerton. We're in the lower level of that Sylvan or Sheridan Plaza, where the old Stuart Anderson's used to be. I'm dating myself, but you know,
yeah, but
it'll always be Stuart Anderson.
Yeah, it's the Black Angus.
Yep, it will indeed.
And you're in the lower level.
In the lower level.
And the website?
Is www.mealsonwheelskitsap.org.
Like them on Facebook,
Yes.
because they're
please
there
like.
also. Chris, You
Yes.
get to almost have the last word. Why should people be interested in Meals on Wheels, especially if they're considering doing some volunteer work?
There's a lot of people that need help out there, so it's never ending. We always need volunteers. There's, you know, like I said earlier, people on vacation, they're sick, or so we always need volunteers. But it's a joy to helping people. I mean, delivering meals, just a satisfaction for me. So, and I'm sure anybody else would love that.
You can enrich others people's lives as well as they enrich your life. It's a give-give, it's a win-win. If you want information on Meals on Wheels, you can call them, 360, of course, 377-8511, or their website, www.mealsonwheelskitsap.org. Like them on Facebook. You can meet Deborah face-to-face. She can talk to you all about, or her capable folks in the office. Thank you so much, Chris. You're awesome.
Thank you, Char.
Thank you for what you do in our community. Deborah, always good to be with you.
Char.
And thanks so much for joining us on Around Kitsap today. We'll see you next time.